Hi everybody, and happy belated Safer Internet Day. But honestly, hang on in there with me for my short list of things that will help you stay safer online. So Safer Internet Day is all about understanding how you and your family can stay safe online. It actually started back in 2004 as a EU Safer Borders initiative, and it was picked up properly in sort of 2005 by many countries throughout the world and companies, people like Google. There are so many resources online to look at. I can't list anywhere near all of them, but I've left some links to a few of them down below, and I hope some of them will be helpful and useful to you. Do click through at the end of the video. Right, anyway, first things. Passwords, and more importantly, an argument for simplicity over complexity. Right, now take a look at these three passwords on screen. For the first one, the standard 8-character password with just letters and numbers, 30 seconds for a brute force attack. Now, not many websites will force you into that. Most of them nowadays will force you into using what is the next one, which is a much more complex one, which is again 8 characters here, but this time it uses numbers, letters, uppercase, lowercase, and special characters. And this can be brute forced in less than 19 hours. Now, the reason we say about a reason for complexity, for simplicity over complexity, is because the final one, which is a nice, easy to remember sentence, in our case is keep on rocking in the free world. It's gonna take 500,000 trillion centuries to crack at the same brute force calculations. Yeah, that's a bit longer. So brute force attack can't really be used on these. There's a link below on previous hacks, and puts them into one place to see if your details have been compromised. If you have a play and test some of your old passwords out and see how they do. So again, the link is down in the description below. Now, password complexity. As you can see, adding complexity to short passwords is really helpful, but it isn't really everything. In fact, it's sort of counterintuitive and detrimental to good password security. Now hang on with that and I'll explain why. You see, people are really bad at remembering long, complex numbers of characters and symbols and so passwords made up with these don't really work. What happens is people tend to pick one or two 8 to 12 digit passwords and then reuse them everywhere. Frequent changing passwords also hinders and actually doesn't help. And I bear with me on this one, but there's a sort of the rule of thumb used to be that we wanted you to change your passwords before somebody could reasonably brute force attack it. Now, back in the 90s, where systems were slower and everything, that was fine. It was about 30 days, which is why lots of companies have a 30-day or 90-day policy where you have to change your passwords then. Now, as we saw from the shorter passwords, I mean, if you're going by the 8-character like high complexity ones, you need to change your password every 18 hours, and well, that's ridiculous. So instead of using these shorter complex passwords, actually it's better to enforce a new standard, and when choosing a good password, like many things in life, size matters. The bigger, the better. Sorry. Let's also remember though that some complexity is actually a good thing. Like, for example here, let's take the password help. Add an S to the end of it, times helps. That's actually 26 times harder to brute force attack than not. But this is just with a basic password we're using just lowercase letters. If we actually add an exclamation mark to the end of it, it now becomes 1,530 times harder to brute force attack. Now, how about we do something a little bit more complex than that, and we make it 30 characters long, and we turn it into a phrase this time. So something that's actually quite easy to remember. And we're gonna have our own little set of rules on this. Every word is going to be capitalized, and we're going to be a special character at the end. So it's not a great one, but you'll see by using the cat sat on the mat licking its paws, exclamation mark. We've got a 30 character password, and this one, well, it's this number. It's got 57 zeros, so I'm not even going to attempt to read it out. So as you can see, that is way more complex, and actually it's quite an easy thing to remember though. Different rules. Right, number one here is make it a long passphrase that you can remember. Give yourself a rule about where you can use uppercase letters and then stick to it, but not in place of things like zeros and O's and I's and exclamation marks. And that. Try and put them somewhere else, but make a formula which is good for you, that you're going to be able to remember where you use them, but don't replace characters with them. Because that actually, that lots of, not just the brute force attacks, but also when they're using keyword searches and stuff, they actually have a list of all these different words where they have swapped out them and they use those in it. So don't do that. And now this is the most important one I can say out of everything here, even if you don't follow any of the rules, but follow this one. Don't use the same password across websites. I know you've heard it thousands of times, but there's a reason we all keep banging on about it. Don't do it. It is once you're compromised in one place, what they'll try is they will literally take the credentials and they'll stuff them into our websites and they'll wait for one of them to pop open. And it's a known thing. It's done all the time, daily. People will get hacked all over the place. Okay, and if you actually do struggle to think of lots of like a rule or lots of different long passwords and stuff like that to do, what you can do is actually work out one long passphrase, complex one that you can remember, that means something to you, so you'll remember it, but other people won't be able to guess it. And then with a password management service like LastPass or Dashlane, both of which have free services as well as their paid ones. They're not sponsors, by the way. You'll see them online a lot being advertised in the videos. They don't sponsor me, as you can guess from the couple of views this video is probably going to get. But if you use a long password as your password for that, that will then manage the passwords that it uses on each of the different websites. So you don't have to remember loads of different passwords apart from your nice one long password. I'm going to do a different video at a later date all about different password managers, and so we'll come back to that there. There's some other tricks you can do to keep yourself safe online. One of mine do, it's sort of like, this is a bonus one for the list, because it's less to do with the passwords and actually more to do with your usernames. And the way of keeping safe is to get a custom domain. They're very cheap, cost $1 or $2 nowadays, or pounds if you're in the UK. And instead of, you don't even need to get any email hosting or anything with that. You literally buy the domain and you can do a catch-all on it. There's loads of tutorials online. I will leave a link in the description below to where you can find out a bit more about this. But basically, our name or whatever you want, dot, and then the name of the domain at mydomain.com. And so we do that for, say, YouTube. And then so the BBC website would be alan.bbc@mydomain.com. And now this helps in a couple of ways. So if you actually do end up using the same password, which you're not going to do now, aren't you? But if you do, it will actually make it a bit harder for hackers when they're using automated stuffing scripts to actually take your username and password and just stick it into any other websites, because it obviously isn't going to match, because the username will always be different. The other way this can help is actually stop spam, because if you're sign up for something and you suddenly start getting spam to that domain, you know exactly where the spam came from. So 1, you can report it. 2, you can go onto that website, scrub your details from it, or inform them that you've been potentially hacked or whatever. But also, if it persists, you can then just block that email address where it's coming. When it's going to that email address, just block it. You don't need to. So hopefully that helps. As one little bonus extra one, Google have released a password checkup Chrome extension that you can install, and this is brilliant. This will, when you go onto a website, it will actually flag up whether your details for that website appears on a compromised list of over 4 billion credentials that they monitor. Again, there's a link down below about more details about it. There are a few other services that offer this. Again, the ones we mentioned earlier, Dashlane and LastPass offer this, but these are paid extras. There are probably a few more things they do, but I thought this was a really good one to add on, and basically a no-brainer as a freebie. I hope these have helped, and if you have any tips or suggestions that you want to share, please leave them in the description below. If we get enough of them, I will definitely make a follow-up video to this. All the links for everything I've been talking about are in the description below. Please do go and have a look. I know it's a cliche about have a look in the description below, but all of these ones, if you're not doing any of this password management stuff, go and do it. I'm not trying to sell you anything here. I've realised myself that I've known all this for years, but I've not been actually looking after my own online safety. And it's like, right, I've taken the plunge and redone it all. Thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe, ring the bell, all the other things. And I will see you tomorrow for another video. Right, take care. Thanks a lot. Bye.